Hey guys, welcome back to Defeating Hair Loss. My name is Steve. I have Bobby D with me tonight.
Yes, sir. Back again.
Welcome back, Bobby. You're back again. And I see now we're going to do a video where you get to be my model, which I love. Your hair looks good tonight, Bobby.
Appreciate it.
I'm glad you came prepared with the cool hair.
Try my best.
Very cool. So the title of the video, or what we're going to talk about, is the psychological stages of hair loss. So let's talk to our model. Okay, Bobby, you had started losing your hair. Obviously, you've had some restoration and it looks amazing, and you're taking preventative treatment.
Yes.
So kind of walk us through, what you went through psychologically. Were some friends teasing you? Where you talk about it, please.
Yeah, rewind, about 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't even know I was really going, was receding that much. And then, I had a girlfriend at the time tell me you're losing your hair. And then I had another friend tell me the same thing, even though it's funny because he was going bald way worse than me. Like he was trying to make himself feel better. But then at that point, I just started noticing it, look in the mirror every day, and it was just, then year after year, it just kept getting worse. And then, the rest is history, calling you and getting this. So.
Well,
but yeah.
It's funny you say that because I talk to a lot of patients, trying to help a lot of people worldwide, and thank you for reaching out to me. A lot of times, when they're talking about whether it's restoration or whatever the case may be, or you think anybody's going to notice, the transplant, if it's to that point, I'm like, well, the only people that are really going to know point blankly are other guys that are losing their hair, that are wondering what they should do. They're wondering, they're like, hey, what'd you do, dude? So, that's a little bit of that, especially at that age. I think you were in like your mid-20s. I was in my late teens, and you love to have those friends that come walking up to you, go, you're losing your hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you going bald?
Yeah. But it's funny because even now, I notice hair now. So if I see somebody, I'm like, oh, he's losing his hair, like it's getting worse, or that's just the way I am now. So
you're becoming an expert very quickly. So the psychological stages, and thank you for that story, Bob. The psychological stages of hair loss, the way that I see it, is number one is denial. So it depends on the person. I remember myself when they said that to me, when they were like, are you losing your hair? I'm like, I don't want to say the words I said, but heck no, I'm not losing my hair. Me? Losing my hair?
Of course not.
No, that is not what's happening. So you go through this denial because, part of losing our hair, of course, causes us to look older. Nobody wants to look older at any age. And I was in my late teens, so that's very hurtful. But when some of those guys would come at me and tell me that, it was a quick wake-up call. I didn't want to believe it, but I was in total denial. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I call this like the cautious stage. This is kind of like where you're in denial, but it's not that big a deal. But you probably should check into using some sort of shampoo, something to rub on your head. Maybe you should Google nowadays to check out like what you can put on your head. Maybe it was because you wore a motorcycle helmet, or you played football, Bobby and myself, or just, there might have been that incident or something. You got in a fight, or you're in an MMA class and somebody bashed your head. It can't be because you're going bald. So, but let me try to get a shampoo. We'll figure that out. We'll bring it back. So that's the second stage, and all this timing is different for everybody. And then the third, of course, is research. And that's where all this comes down to these videos. And, I'm so excited that we're on this platform, and YouTube is what it is, because I enjoy the other, artists or, platforms that do videos. I am a big part of David DeMuzio's YouTube channel that has helped many, many people throughout the years. We're actually shooting video real soon again, bring that up to date. Can't wait to do that. So the research part of this is something that obviously takes a lot of time. And now it's starting to sink in that you're losing your hair, right? So now number four is the acceptance. Okay, I guess that guy was right.
Yeah.
That jerk, because he was right. And now you have to accept it. And now you start to seek out consultations. That's when you had called.
That's the expert.
Yeah. So, and you, of course, you want to, watch the videos and get a good idea of what to ask questions about, and, visit different clinics. And a lot of the patients that do visit these clinics, sometimes they go to a dermatologist, and I'm not a doctor. I have tremendous respect for doctors. I know medical school is really hard. So, I didn't do that, but to my knowledge, dermatologists are more about skin, not so much experts in hair. So when you find one of these specialists, these board certified doctors that can guide you, a lot of the questions revolve around, can you examine me? Is it because I have a little dandruff? I remember getting dandruff a couple years ago, and it's still a little bit of that denial stage, but when that doctor sees that pattern and confirms that it's an androgenic alopecia, the clinical term for, either male pattern hair loss or even female pattern hair loss, this is a genetic thing. And that's where it gets a little challenging, because how many choices do we have, right? So now we're already at number 4, there's only 5. The last one is, of course, prevention and restoration. So once we've gone through all these stages and we've decided that, yes, okay, I have hair loss and I'm seeing professional help, experts.
This guy.
My professional, I'm just trying to help people. But it's all about making sure you're getting good advice. And of course, the urgency. I don't want anybody to do things out of emotion. I'm just not that guy. Made those mistakes when I was way younger.
Me too. Still do.
So I want you to do this out of being objective and saying, look, in the male body, it's easy. No problem. You get on that finasteride and that combination medication, and at least we stop Mother Nature from destroying all the hair on the head, and then we can talk about restoration. From a female side, there's other options as well. Not so easy as it is for the male, because the hormones and of course the complexity of the female body, for obvious reasons. But at least we've gotten that acceptance. We're now seeking prevention. After the prevention, or while we're doing the prevention, we can also explore restoration, which is the last and final part of this, the last stage. So how's that sound?
Sounds good to me, Steve.
So you ended up, Bobby, of course, going through all that. And then, you kind of were a little dicey on the prevention part, which was the medicine, which I understand and stood by your side. And we determined that since you had a little bit of loss and you had real good donor hair and you decided to go for FUT, that was a way to protect yourself in case you were not comfortable staying on that medicine long term.
For sure. It worked out well.
So that's why we leave the restoration part to last, because while we're being prevented from getting further hair loss, we can make these decisions so it's not a mistake made, which is going to haunt us down the road. Fair enough?
Yeah, fair enough for me.
We hope this helps. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
See you.